As we talk about how the universe is structured, one of the things I want to talk about is the concept of a cosmic web. Now, this idea is only about 20, 30 years old. And you know that there are certain moments where you are at a place and a situation that takes your breath away. Well, early 90s, many, many years ago, I was actually sitting in an auditorium listening to this professor, Dr. Margaret Geller, give a talk on cosmology. And she presented this piece of evidence, what this picture is, this is a map of galaxies. These are locations of galaxies. Now, up until that point in history, maybe 30 years ago, it was assumed that galaxies were random. Yeah, they had some local groups and things like that, but it was assumed that it was very, very random. What Margaret Geller and her team found out is that galaxies have a tendency to collect and to puddle. And there are areas where galaxies are and areas where galaxies are not. And I remember sitting in the audience and it really took my breath away because until that moment in time, I, like so many other people, thought that the galaxies were just random out there. And she and her team found that there were definitely structure. Well, after they found this data of how the galaxies are distributed, they went about trying to figure out, where do you get this wacky shape? The fact that the very first data looks a little like the outline of a human form was just a little freaky and totally random. But the more data they got, they indicated that there is structure in the universe so that the galaxies tend to form around the edges of a pattern very similar to a cluster of soap bubbles. Something in the universe created round or spherical structures, and that galaxies tend to be found in large numbers where these round spherical groups would meet. And where these clusters of galaxies would meet, that's where we'd find lots and lots of galaxies. So the edges of soap bubble structure of the universe has what has become called the cosmic web. Between these areas of high galactic concentration, there are areas of humongous spaces that are almost empty, no galaxies, almost no stars, and these are referred to as voids. There are huge, massive cosmic voids. One of these voids can be 100 million to 300 million light years across. And there is what caused this bubble type expansion in the early universe. Matter caused the galaxies to cluster on these edges and then avoid the big empty spots in between. What we're circling towards is the concept of dark matter. It is believed that this cosmic web is basically the scaffolding of the universe. Scaffolding, like if you build a home and you have 2x4s that build the structure, and then upon that you put sheetrock and paint and pretty pictures and your couch. Similar sort of thing. There is a basic structure that builds up the entire universe, and that is this web structure. Again, galaxies clustering on the edges of these soap bubble type structures. Some bubbles are large, some bubbles are tiny, and then large areas of voids where there is almost nothing there. We believe a lot of this is due to dark matter, and we will spend a lot of time this chapter talking about dark matter because that's pretty cool stuff. So I think we're going to stop right there with this cosmic web thing, and we will continue with a nice discussion of dark matter next.